Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. Action-packed, it is the Aquarius new moon today that is coinciding with the Chinese Lunar New Year, the Yin wood snake. Lot of major themes. And speaking of major themes, welcome, Alicia. Let's just jump in right to our main theme because it's going to set the stage for everything. So, divine intervention, the age of Aquarius, clarity, resistance, renewal. So, divine intervention, the age of Aquarius, clarity, resistance, renewal. Big themes. So you're going to hear clarity, resistance, renewal over and over and over again through the different things that we'll cover in the show today. So main energies, the creative, initiate. 29, we're working with hexagram 29 today, abyss, relinquish. This small restraint, surrender, keep taking each next step. 21, biting through, discern. It's how we break it down, and it's how we don't allow things to overwhelm us. We just stay in the present moment and allow things one by one, just bite through. And then it culminates in a 3, this difficult beginnings, persevere. And so it is, we're changing eras, we're changing signs, we're changing from patriarchal to matriarchal. So yes, it's difficult in the beginning, but persevere. Welcome, Olivia. Welcome, Colleen. So, and then let's look at this because here are the astrological influences. So we've got the North Node leaves Aries. So it is now in Pisces. South Node is now in Virgo. All of this occurring today. So, and then on the 29th, so here's Mercury enters Aquarius and it's going to conjunct Pluto. So at 1 degree, 58. Then we also have, of course, the Aquarius new moon, 9 degrees, 51 arc minutes. And tomorrow, Uranus stations direct. And anytime a planet stations direct, like the week before, the week after, it's that vibration at the train station when the train is getting ready to leave, depart, or arrive. And you can feel the rumble and the energy. Well, so our theme for these astrological influences is the butterfly effect, rebirth. And just to give you a flavor, so because it goes with number 6 from the unseen, but here's the butterfly effect is a scientific concept that describes how small changes can have large consequences. So think about this: clarity, resistance, renewal. concepts that describes how small changes can have large consequences. It's a part of chaos theory, which is a branch of mathematics that studies complex systems. The butterfly effect is named after the idea that a butterfly flapping its wings in one place could cause a tornado in another place. The term was coined by Edward Lorenz, a meteorologist and mathematician at MIT, in the 1960s. The butterfly effect is often misunderstood to mean that small actions can be manipulated to achieve a desired outcome. That's the shadow aspect. That's not the theory. That is an illusion, a misunderstanding, that we can manipulate things. The butterfly effect is about it's number 6, Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal or greater reaction. And what I heard was, for every action, there is an equal or greater reaction. Newton's third law is an equal or greater, or an opposite reaction. That's Newton's third law of motion. What the unseen said was an equal or greater reaction. So it's the boomerang effect. So we got the butterfly effect, we got the boomerang effect. What you put out into the universe is already coming back to you tenfold. So be really mindful. This is an Aquarius new moon. It's coinciding with the Chinese Lunar New Year and these big astrological energies. And so what you're putting out is already coming back to you tenfold. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's Newton's third law of motion. The unseen said an equal or greater reaction. And this butterfly effect is about, it's not that you can manipulate, with small actions you can manipulate and achieve a desired outcome. No, that manipulation is the energy you're putting out. It's already coming back to you in equal or opposite or greater force. In mental health, the butterfly effect can describe how small, consistent habits can lead to significant changes in well-being. So again, mental health, when we take individual steps through chaos, because it's part of the chaos effect or theory, it can lead to peace, greater health. And last but not least, the butterfly effect makes it difficult to predict the future because it's impossible to know the initial conditions of a system with complete accuracy. There's intent. Was it illicit or pure? All of these things are playing a role. So the fact that a butterfly can flap its wings in one location and cause a storm, a tornado, a tsunami somewhere else, this is the butterfly effect. And this is what we're talking about with these astrological energies. And let's just look at the astrological chart. So here we are. This is for the Aquarius new moon occurring today on January 29th. Again, things ripple out a good 6 months. And so just look at the inner circle again. You see the 2 blue triangles with that outstretched, it's going from Jupiter out to the new moon and the sun. So, and there's this, we talked about paper dragons and paper tigers and paper cranes, I believe in the show last week or the week before. This is talking about, here's this butterfly in the center. And so we have this butterfly effect, and what you're putting out, what we're witnessing things on the world stage. And one can believe that from an unconscious awareness that they don't recognize or realize what's already coming back to them based on their actions. Welcome, Elizabeth. So for everyone, please be very mindful of the butterfly effect, the boomerang effect, and this, what you're putting out's already coming back to you. It's physics, it's law, it's the universal law. This is where we are and what we're talking about. And with this main theme, divine intervention, the age of Aquarius, it's like it's arrived, this age of Aquarius and divine intervention, and they're bringing to us clarity, resistance, and renewal. So let's jump into the snake medicine, and also just I'm going to give you a quick introduction about the Chinese Lunar New Year, year of the yin wood snake. And when you look at the energies of this, welcome Kiki. Yes, Aquarius gives me faith and hope, exactly. So when you look at yin wood snake, and this is beginning today and it goes through mid-February of 2026, and you can sum this up, it's growth through wisdom of the divine feminine. Why? Because yin represents the feminine. It's not yang, it's yin. Wood symbolizes growth. So yin wood symbolizes growth. Snake is traditionally associated with the fire element, so it's going to have that creative force, and is a symbol of wisdom, intuition, and transformation. Yin wood is like bamboo, flexible and adaptable. Yang wood is the mighty oak, fixed, rooted, immovable. So we're dealing with yin wood, bamboo, pliable. This year of the yin wood snake offers us the opportunity to quickly shed the past, outdated beliefs, masks, labels, identities, patterns, and habits. I mean, again, think of the snake shedding its skin, and it emerges like it's brand new, just been born. This is the way, these are the elements and the energies of the yin wood snake. It allows us to empty our vessels, embrace new perspectives, and move forward with renewed resilience. Representing wisdom and transformation, snake is naturally intuitive, intelligent, and mystical. There's a reason that for all of the healing modalities, they're symbolized, the caduceus, the asclepius, they're all a single snake twining a rod, or double snakes and so forth. So this intuitiveness, intelligence, mysticalness, and the unseen said powerful, power-filled growth, renewal, and conscious awakening epitomize the year of the yin wood snake. And the point here is it's yin, it's intuition, it's feminine, which means it's going to be an inside job. This is a profound opportunity for all of us to look at ourselves, look within. It's always an inside job, and then that ripples out. So that's from the unseen. Now we're going to work with Jess Hagen from Urban Healers of LA and her snake medicine. She says, what does the snake spirit animal totem mean? If animals are living symbols of the cosmic design, snake with its exclamation point body is the very image of a symbol. She is a gliding hieroglyph speaking volumes to the psyche about our most primal abilities to heal and renew. Her energy is the cosmic declaration of, yes, I will survive. We will survive this moment of transformation, of transfiguration, of leaving one era and arriving in another. Patriarchal, matriarchal, Piscean, Aquarian. Creative force, receptive force. We will, yes, I will survive. And it is for this reason she is the symbol presiding over all the healing arts. Where all animal spirit medicines speak of healing, the snake totem is the medicine of medicine itself. Her lessons are a private journey into releasing the personal and opening to the universal. This is about us dealing with our shadows, facing them, not turning away from the truth, laying down, shedding the masks, the identities, the labels, the stories, the scripts, all of these things that we've been layered with, that we've put on ourselves like armor, that our ego mind personality tells us, oh, this makes me safe, or this makes me loved, or this makes me valued. That's all an illusion. And so with the yin wood snake, it's about shedding all of that and getting real with ourselves from the inside out. Jess Hagen continues, snake medicine speaks of transcending personal pain, gaining a sense of security in the midst of instability, and learning how to renew without having to replace. The teachings of this animal urge us to not give up on or throw out that which may still be quite useful. See, it's about, we say all the time, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. This isn't about demonizing the Piscean patriarchal era. It's about keeping the best of the best. It's about retaining what is still quite useful, but shedding what no longer serves. When snake medicine glides into your life, it is time to slough off the old pattern so that the new design can pulse with the most current energy. It is time to listen to your body's discomfort and locate the real source of the pain. Snake, unlike dragonfly or butterfly, we had dragonfly medicine. We're talking about the unseen gave us the butterfly effect. So here, Jess Hagen is talking about snake, unlike dragonfly or butterfly, does not transform herself into a completely new shape. She molts, a process of gliding through the old dead cells to emerge improved and renewed with their original design intact. So this is, again, it's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's not about transforming into something. It's about sloughing off, purifying, emptying the vessel, so that what's retained and what emerges, what's renewed, is who you've always been. That pure, beautiful soul inhabiting a physical body, having this heaven on earth human experience, divine human experience. This molting process, when applied to healing, can range from mildly irritating to debilitating contractions of violent pain depending on the lessons being presented. How are we in the flow? Are we being proactive? So it can be mildly irritating, or it can be just downright painful. It depends on us, each of us. How much are we cleaving to the past or embracing the present future, the new? Jess continues, what do we do with pain? How can we end it? Snake says, do not run from it. Turn around and move into it. Confronting pain is the only way to completely dissolve it. Snake teaches us that the basic function of pain is to teach us the true reality of life outside delusional social conventions. All that stuff we've heaped on that the ego mind personality said we needed, all that armor, guck, goo. But Snake is saying, no, just turn around and face all of that. Dissolve it. Confront it. Recognize it. And be willing to lay it down. Slough it off. Shed it. The reality is a silent experience beyond words. And I just want to go to number 3 from the unseen. Yin wood snake. And they said yin wood magic. So yin wood snake, yin wood magic. Growth, internal growth beyond your wildest dreams, your wildest imagination. And contained within the word imagination is both magi and nation. Magi, wise men, astrologers, class of priests. In Zoroastrianism, Ahura Mazda, we've talked about the rotary engine, the Ahura Mazda, where the ego, mind, personality, the heart, and the soul source connection is all integrated, that triangle, and how it operates as one. So here we're talking about outside of delusional social conventions, outside of these things, there's growth, internal growth beyond your wildest dreams, your wildest imagination. Magi, wise men, astrologers, class of priests in Zoroastrianism. And Ahura Mazda was the highest deity. What this is speaking to, and again, imagination. Imagine a nation, a sovereign entity. We are each sovereign beings. Nations are sovereign. This is talking about wisdom, magi, astrologers that followed, that understood the machinations of the universe. And how when we are so in tune with that, when we are so aligned and unified, imagine the nation that creates. this wise nation. As Elizabeth is saying, I have been explaining this to my will for the past 2 weeks. There we go. This will, this ego, mind, personality. And recognizing and saying to our ego, mind, personality, it's okay. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're not killing you. What we're doing is bringing you into a higher octave, a higher state of being. And I need you, ego, mind, personality, I need you to trust. I need you to trust me. I need you to trust our soul. It's where the wisdom lies. And yin wood snake magic, this year of the yin wood snake, divine feminine, wisdom, intuition, fire, but adaptability, pliability, leads to clarity, renewal, and resistance from the old. Just continues. That reality is a silent experience beyond words, meaning this beyond delusion of social conventions. It is in this silence that healing occurs. The power of snake is not a daily, long-term medicine, as the experience of pain is not something that lasts. Life cannot sustain constant trauma indefinitely. We're seeing a lot of chaos and trauma, pain on the world stage. But it can't last because it's not able to sustain itself, the trauma and the pain and this constant indefinitely. That migraine, that ulcer, that broken heart will eventually end, and the pain of it will be forgotten. Snake asks you to remember trauma and pain to the fullest possible pitch so that you can then truly forget it and let it go. It's because we face it. We see below the surface. We go to the heart of it. Snake medicine, we turn and face it. We don't run from it. And thereby, we're able to see it, transmute it, and it goes away. Forgetting is not about abandoning the past. It is accepting the reality that all things, no matter how significant, will eventually fade in meaning. This is true of anything, whether it's, the greatest depth of pain or the greatest joy. They will eventually fade because, again, the present moment, there's something new for us to experience. So it's not about forgetting, it's about facing it, transmuting it, releasing it. All things in time come to an end. Behind time is eternity, the true nature of life. Conscious evolution has the potential to change the nature of existence as we know it, turning the human, quote, condition into an act of beauty rather than one of struggle. See, when we face all of this shadow and all of the labels and the identities and the past and the ick and the goo, when we face it, we recognize that it was choice, it was opportunity all along, that it's divine and neutral, that it's pure. And thus we can see its beauty, not its struggle. Snake says, have courage and take the journey. You will not only not regret it, but you will also lose the ability to ever regret it again because you advance, you evolve. This is what we're doing here. In its most concentrated, snake medicine is a shamanic passage, which, when survived, will bring deeper consciousness. It's going to make us, it's going to expand us. Remember, we're being transplanted into larger pots, larger vessels, so that we can expand, so that we have a greater arc and a greater present future, a greater tomorrow. So, powerful snake medicine. And with that, number one from the unseen, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. We've had this song, and they said the divine, original intelligence, soul source connection. So ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. The divine, original intelligence, and soul source connection. And then they said, move over, make believe, imitator, and imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is a feeling of self-doubt and a fear of being exposed as a fraud, especially in high-achieving people. This can also occur in relationships. So remember, the ego, mind, personality, to Elizabeth's point, she's been explaining this to her will for 2 weeks and so forth. It's this thing of saying, because fear is a natural part of being human. However, fear is your friend. Fear is energy, just like love, just like peace, hope. They're all energy. How do we harness the energy of fear? It either propels us forward or it immobilizes us. So here in this imposter syndrome, and the unseen is saying, move over, make believe, imitator, imposter. Because the real you, the real us, the true us is the soul you, S-O-U-L, the soul you. And so the unseen is saying, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby, and move over, make believe, imitator, imposter, because the real you is coming forward. And it's just time. It is this time. And so Yin Woodsnake, we're sloughing off the old, and we will emerge renewed. And let me just go to that, because it is it's our keyword, and renewal. An instance of resuming an activity or state after an interruption. Remember, they said to us last week, we're interrupting we're interrupting your regularly scheduled program too. And then there's a pendulum swing period, and then we now return you to your regularly scheduled program. Well, here's renewal, an instance of resuming an activity or state after an interruption. The replacing or repair of something that is worn out, run down, or broken. That broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, but we're going to find the fighter. It's Rise Up by Andra Day. Here's this, we're sloughing off the worn out, the run down, and the broken. And finally, the act or process of renewing, to make like new, restore to freshness, vigor, or perfection. This is what's on offer with this divine intervention, the Age of Aquarius, clarity, resistance, renewal, and the Yin Woodsnake. This magic offering. We just need to face it, because what's on offer is clarity, renewal, and resistance. So now let's look at, we are going to Hexagram 29. This is by Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. And Kiki is saying, I've been thinking about the emergency broadcast system way of reacting all week. Right, it allows us to, it interrupts normally scheduled programming. It tells us that it's an alert. It tells us about something so that we can address it, deal with it, and then resume regularly scheduled programming. This is this moment. Hexagram 29, Carrie Hone, cafeosoul.com. Hexagram 29 is abyss. Its action is relinquish. What I love about this, so its hidden influence is nourishing vision, nurture. We need to nurture ourselves from the inside out. We need to stay in the eye of the hurricane. If you're out on the periphery, it's not going to be pretty. You're going to get sucked into things. So you can resist all the noise. It doesn't mean bury your head in the sand. It means you're facing it. Resistance can mean how we show up, how we resist the old, because our focus is on the new. We're placing our energies in a positive way for something, not against something. And lastly, it's underlining cause. You can't make these things up if you tried. Clarity. Persist. So, and we've had this, it's one of our quotes, it's an Egyptian proverb. We've had it before, and it's one of my favorites. For the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. So in essence, again, in order to, anybody that's gardened or grown flowers and so forth, you know that within the garden, whether it's vegetables, fruits and vegetables, or flowers, the unseen is saying, the Egyptian proverb, all that is saying, for the benefit of the flowers, We water the thorns too, because gardens require tending, pruning, weed pulling. If we don't water the garden, the fruits, the vegetables, the flowers can't grow. But in watering, here are those pesky the things we don't want. And so we have to prune. We have to be vigilant in tending to our gardens. We are such a garden. So hexagram 29, abyss. Abyss reveals how we explore a path even when it feels dangerous. Whatever your question, there is an element of needing to go deep below the surface to uncover what is really happening, no matter how frightening. It's the snake facing it. The idea of nourishing vision can also lead to staying away because of fear. In every hero journey, just when success is on the horizon, the nemesis reappears. We're right there. Matriarchal era, Aquarian era, we the people era. In every hero journey, just when success is on the horizon, the nemesis reappears. How bad do you want it? How bad do we want it? Where are we? What are we aligned with? Will we fight or flee? Will we allow the challenge to teach us something? Will we continue to nourish vision in unhealthy ways? Are we cleaving to the past? Are we better off enslaved with Pharaoh? We've talked about that in one of the last 2 weeks' shows. Or do we recognize the promised land, the land of milk and honey, the opportunity that's before us? And so when we nourish vision, it's healthy, not unhealthy. We are told not to persist in an old way, even when we might not understand the new way. This is similar to the dark night of the soul that was just last week's sub-theme that we're going through. The world is going through a dark night of the soul, where life seems to engulf us in confusion and we give up hope. But this is not a time to give up hope. This is a time to quadruple down on hope, with clarity, with vision, with purpose, with releasing in our individual lives the steps we take to unburden, to slough off, to renew. It's a ripple effect. It's the butterfly effect. It's the boomerang effect. It's Newton's third law of motion. So, can you honestly look back and not see the meaning of any challenges you faced? The situation is highly charged, but like the hero, going through the danger is necessary to discover who you are, what you really need, and what you are capable of accomplishing. Because we're being given this great opportunity to see ourselves. All of it. Not just the good stuff, not just what we want, but all of the things, all the choices that we've accumulated, that we've made. The action and their reaction. And how we lay it down, how we purify and cleanse and slough it off. In hero myths, one often discovers that the nemesis is actually a teacher, sometimes even a parent, a partner, a spouse, a friend. In this case, the dangerous flow of water that has engulfed you will lead somewhere beneficial when you just relinquish control. Ego, mind, personality, Elizabeth explaining to her will, hey, hi, there's a different way. Here it is. So when we relinquish that control and we allowed our soul source connection to lead, to guide us, there is great power in realizations to be obtained when confronting fear in the deep waters of the unconscious. The current of events can be overwhelming like a deluge, but there is a benevolent aspect at play which is seeking to set you free. Divine intervention, the age of Aquarius. It is here to set us free, to deliver us. Along with the dangerous abyss you must descend into, we see an image of a cap with wings, signifying one who teaches others how to transcend difficulty because of actual experience. This cap with wings is the winged hat of Hermes, meaning Mercury. It's the messenger to the gods, delivering this message. You'll see in a moment how Mercury is playing a role in this Aquarian new moon with Pluto. And remember, they're conjunct, and thereby it's magnifying and amplifying. Here's the opportunity, and here's the ick and the goo, the shadow. You might rise above the danger with the faith that all is unfolding as it should. You can also choose to allow the situation to lead you deeper into your own psyche and emotional dynamics. Just remember, it's not about focusing on the negative or focusing on the shadow or beating ourselves up and so forth. It's simply like snake medicine, yin wood snake. Look at it. See the truth in it. See your choices, because all of those are opportunities for us to free ourselves, to be delivered to the new, the matriarchal Aquarian, age of Aquarius moment, present. Using humor or escapism to mask the danger won't work. That's old news. That's an old way of being. The winged cap isn't a toy and doesn't magically appear so you can just rise above or hide from difficulty. It requires work to achieve enlightenment. We got to take the steps. We got to walk the walk and talk the talk. However you decide to proceed, after a time of meeting the abyss, you will become more sincere in your outlook. This is what is meant by, when you are sincere, you will meet with success. This is our second quote. When you are sincere, you will meet with success. It's always about the purity. It's always an inside job. It's always about the purity of your intention. This is where success lies. Abyss is a time of testing. Clarity, as the underlying cause, can be a message that an old outlook can no longer serve the new person you are becoming. We're not the old. In every second, we're renewing. So this is about advancing. It's about who we are becoming. Nourishing vision as the hidden influence can remind you that even when the way forward seems to threaten your idea of safety, energy is working deep within to transform your confusion into clear vision. Because we know, intuitively, we're already programmed for it. We know where to go. And it's only fear that's causing us to cleave to an old way or belief. Oh, we were better off with Pharaoh being enslaved. No, you aren't. No, you weren't. You're just fearful of the unknown. But this moment, this year, these energies, this Aquarius new moon, the yin wood snake, lunar new year, all of this is conspiring. The divine okay, sorry. We had a little glitch there with LinkedIn, pardon me. So, it's all there for us. And this is about where we're becoming. Nourishing vision as the hidden influence can remind you that even when the way forward seems to threaten your idea of safety, energy is working deep within to transform your confusion into clear vision. Abyss is the keeper of the night self and embodies that part of us that knows exactly who we are and where we need to be. It's your soul source connection. Trust the process at play in your situation and pay attention to your dreams. Even nightmares are a positive sign that authentic power is being returned to the psyche. The hidden or shadowed side of life is every bit as important as what you see by daylight. Because remember, sometimes a cloak of opposites. So in our scariest moment, it can be our greatest opportunity of transformation. If you can awaken to how you project the past upon experiences, you will discover that fear is a fertile garden, and once transformed, becomes that place where dreams are planted to become reality. The garden analogy. We've got to prune the weeds. That's the word I was looking for. We've got to prune out all the weeds to ensure that our garden is beautiful and nourished and tended to. And it's an ongoing, everyday inside job. So now let's look at because with our main theme. The second thing from the unseen was literally our main theme, divine intervention. And they said, enough is enough. So higher octave, higher hand, the all that is, there's an aspect here that is going to be reaching in, literally. You know, we've had this, remember in a few shows back, they were talking to us about how the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands is on tap. Pentacles represent earth, wands represent fire, and thereby, and it's that, see that hand, it's that divine hand. So these are offerings from the divine. Look at the beautiful fertile gardens in the lower aspects of the cards. The beautiful river, the flowing waters, the white lilies, the arbor, the castle in the background. It's on offer to us. So the unseen is saying to us, divine intervention, they're going to reach in. Imagine this. What they're showing me is this, literally the hand that I've just shown you in those two tarot cards. It's like it's reaching into each one of us. It's activating our soul, our divine nature. It's reaching in. Allow it. Allow, like in the temperance, in the forge, allow the impurities, the weeds, the impurities, all this stuff to just dissipate. Face them. This is where we are with these energies. Now let's move to, I want to get Chani. This comes from Chani Nicholas, and it's the weekly issue number 51, Thunder, Shock and Awe. We've talked about the fact that this is a 555 moment. 555s represent major change, neither positive nor negative. We've had this. This is from Astrology by Lauren last week. It was an image that she used, turbulent times. And there's Mother Earth bouncing, floating, if you will, with all of these stormy seas and skies. And the Tower. How if we're cleaving to something, an old identity, an old person, an old script, an old identity, an old era, it's crumbling. So this major change, the Tower, turbulent times. And here's Chani Nicholas with the weekly issue number 51. 51 in the I Ching represents thunder, shock and awe. It does represent the Tower. She says, this week brings us a new moon in Aquarius, occurring in a trine, that's a harmonious aspect in astrology, with Jupiter. It is broad-minded and confident. Pluto, the planet of extremes, is also newly settled in Aquarius and making an exact conjunction to Mercury. They're literally together. This combination is edgy for sure, but it signals an initiation, one that can awaken us to our ability to do alchemy, magi, wise men, astrologers, class of priests, this yin wood magic that the unseen was talking about. That's alchemy. And alchemy is turning lead to gold. Aquarius's gifts to humanity are certainty, intellectual rigor, and an aptitude to see the forest and the trees. This sign is unflinching when it comes to truth. A visionary, Aquarius isn't one to wear rose-colored glasses or get lost in the comment section. It has the fortitude to make up its own mind through a deep and intensive analysis of any topic. It is clarity. We all know the quotes. We all know how important it is to be definitively against evil and direct in the face of supremacy. What we don't always know is how to muster the courage to be disobedient in the face of power, speak truth to power. But this is also Aquarius's strength. The sign known as the anti-hero, the outsider, the margin dweller, the one who refuses center stage, Aquarius knows how to defy. And it's high time we believe in a world beyond endless cycles of violence and stop trying to play by the rules stacked against us. It's time we stop trying to be right, perfect, or even good, and instead do what is needed. It's time we stop waiting for someone to come and save us, and instead send out our own signals. We save ourselves by allowing our soul to connect to our soul source connection and allow our soul to lead. It's pure, it's true north. It will never lead you astray. Ego, mind, personality? All the time. It can. But again, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We absolutely need and want a healthy ego, mind, personality in service to, in unity with soul source connection. One that is unwavering, one that blatantly declares that we will not let each other face these incoming long, dark, and difficult times alone. This window between now, really November of last year into mid-May, this window of long, dark, and difficult times. One that makes the bold statement that we will do whatever it takes to keep the soul of ourselves and this world intact. See, we're committing to our souls. We're committing to the soul of ourselves, of our countries, our nations, our peoples, our world, Mother Earth. It's a quadrupling down. Butterfly effect, boomerang effect. What we put out is already coming back to us tenfold. Resist cleaving to the old. Resist buying into the illusion. Resist getting sucked into this negative vortex. Instead, standing in the eye of the hurricane, find the light. Do everything within your power, step by step. Listen to your soul. Ask your soul, what is my step today? What is my positive affirmation? What is it? And I want to get this in because I forgot it last week, but it was right on time. It is our mantra. I respond to life's renewal. And it's the rooster crowing at the daylight, at the break of dawn. The earth, the greens, the gardens, and that beautiful glow, orangey yellow glow. I respond to life's renewal because this moment is all about renewal. It is not about the past. It is about the future. So as we move through, it's making this commitment to ourselves. Commit. So now let us go to Astrology by Lauren. Nope, actually we're going to close with her. So I'm going to go to Pam Youngin's North Point Journal really quickly. She's speaking about the Aquarius new moon. We begin a new lunar cycle. This is a progressive, inventive, and highly intuitive new moon. Qualities that are magnified by its close trine to Jupiter in open-minded, curious Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, it's the twins. Aquarian themes such as humanitarianism, social networks, group activities, equal rights, and social activism will likely play a significant role in our collective experience over the next 4 weeks. The Jupiter trine also provides a certain buoyancy and optimism that we can tap into during this time. And what they're saying to me, the unseen is saying, it's like tipping the scales. We can, with Jupiter trine this Aquarian new moon, we can tip the scales. We can tap into that positive, forward-leaning energy simply by allowing that to be what leads us and guides us. Tip the scales forward, individually in your own lives and us collectively. The more of us doing it, the greater it's the monkey effect. The 100 monkeys, it tips the scale because there's something unseen. With the monkeys, the first one goes over and dips its plantain or banana because it's got sand all over it in the ocean water. Then the next one does it, the next one does it. By the time they hit 100 monkeys doing the exact same thing, and this is scientifically, you can Google it, look it up, clear across the globe in another area, the monkeys automatically do it. Because it's the unseen. It's that tapestry that has us all connected. It's the butterfly effect, the boomerang effect. This is where, and so we're being, again, the unseen. I'm hammering this home because the unseen is saying, hi, hello. See, if you all just connect and tip the scales in the positive forward energy and direction, that's where we go. That's what prevails. It will do so regardless, but again, it's how do we get there? So it can be mild and mildly irritating, or it can be downright brutal. Choice is up to us, individually, collectively. So Pam Youngins goes on to say, Mercury-Pluto effect. A significant factor in the energies of this week's new moon is its wide conjunction with Mercury and Pluto in early Aquarius. Mercury's involvement certainly emphasizes the Jupiter in Gemini themes of communication and information sharing. But things get interesting when we toss Pluto into the mix, and Mercury and Pluto are conjunct. They're in a wide conjunction to the moon and the sun, but Mercury and Pluto are right next to each other. The Mercury-Pluto conjunction will be exact on Tuesday. It was yesterday, the 28th. Corresponds with intense conversations and revelations of information that has been hidden. So again, they've said all along, the unseen has said, all of this is going to come at us like a freight train. We're not going to be the ostrich burying our head in the sands. You can't. It's going to be coming at us. So there's revelations of information, revelations, things that were unknown, of information that has been hidden. With Pluto's help, the quote, need to know, end quote, of Mercury in Aquarius includes the capacity for penetrating insight and a strong desire, even obsession, with uncovering the truth. There's going to be a strong desire to know the truth, to uncover it, to shine a light upon it. The mind is tenacious, laser-like, and highly motivated. Another manifestation of the Mercury-Pluto influence is the powerful use of words, whether to uplift and empower or to persuade and manipulate. And since the mind is convinced that there is something more to the story, there is a tendency to be suspicious of what is presented as fact. So again, we're not just going to be like, oh yeah, okay, sure, I believe you. No. It's going to be the mind wants to know the truth, not a truth, not wool being pulled over their eyes. So we're going to have this intensity because Mercury and Pluto are conjunct. We got the buoyancy of Jupiter helping us along. And then we've got this Aquarius new moon coinciding on the exact same day, hours apart, of the Chinese Lunar New Year, Yin Wood Snake, Yin Wood Magic. Last but not least, Pam Youngins, Uranus at a standstill. The planet Uranus, known for manifesting unexpected or sudden events, is at full strength this week and next. This increased impact is because the sideways spinning planet is now moving very slowly and will station direct tomorrow on the 30th of January. Uranus likes to shake things up, to keep us from becoming stagnant and to help us live more authentic lives. As it transits through tradition-loving Taurus, it's an earth sign, the planet's task is to liberate us from attachments that limit us. It's Exodus. It's that whole, we're being delivered to this new era, this new age, the world before us, the one that came before us and the one that's before us. And here's Uranus, that higher mind that expects the unexpected. It's liberating us from attachments that limit us. Uranus helps us let go of things that may have become familiar or comfortable when they are no longer in alignment with who we are becoming. You see this theme, who we're becoming, who we're becoming, who we're becoming. So we're being mandated, called upon to release the old. Masks, identities, scripts, stories, labels, all of this stuff. It's stuff from the Piscean patriarchal era. It's what needs to shed as long as if it's no longer of value. So we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. When Uranus is strong, we can anticipate breakthroughs or breakdowns, along with heightened nervous energy and a sense of anticipation. Focus on breakthroughs. Focus on emptying your vessel. Focus on purifying, cleansing, sloughing off the old, weeding the garden. It's important works. Works, plural, meaning joy. Because each step you do, each step you take is adding and building. And again, butterfly effect, boomerang effect. Is it pure? Is it positive? Is it advancing you? Is it allowing you to connect to the purity of your soul source connection, to that being? Because they have waited so long. They are ever present, always with us, always nudging, knocking, hey, hi. And yet there's ego, mind, personality that's been out there just running amok. Well, now we're coming into, again, Magi, Ahura Mazda, this unified being. Okay, now we're going to jump to And we're going to close with Astrology by Lauren. So I'm going to quickly jump to the Sabian symbols because that coincide with this Aquarian new moon. And they are incredible. So here's the sun moon, the symbol for the sun moon. A man who had for a time become the embodiment of a popular ideal is now made to realize that as a person, he or she is not this ideal. So it's when someone becomes convinced that they are a movement or they are a piece of a composition, a piece of work. The keynote: the need to deal with human beings as persons rather than as screens upon which one projects one's dream and ideal. Here we have a final statement on the relationship between mental, spiritual vision, and living reality, between persons and the ideal they appear to incarnate, between, quote, the great lover image and one's need for love, a love his presence stimulated and aroused. The, quote, star on the movie screen is not the actual person. The star's popularity fades away, the person remains. What has this episode of popularity actually done to the person? This is a question that can be applied to a great variety of circumstances. This symbol brings to our attention an issue that is basic and may confront us in various forms. Person versus archetype, so ego, mind, personality versus soul. This can mean a critical need for self-revaluation. We've got to see ourselves, and when we finally come into alignment with our soul, it's priceless. It is the prize. It is the divine magic. Now, the midheaven. A big businessman at his desk. Keynote: the ability to organize the many aspects of an enterprise involving a large group of human beings. A great deal of what is glowingly written about the Aquarian age is potentially sheer glamour. I don't agree with that. It's truth. The new age should be one in which man learns to use the power generated by human togetherness and group interplay. We, the people. This is what the Aquarian age is, and what humanity we must learn. It's about the togetherness and group interplay. That is, to use it harmoniously for the welfare of the whole, of which all individuals are parts, humanity and planet Earth. This has never been achieved and only very rarely attempted. Mankind today must make a thorough and irresistible attempt or be nearly destroyed, except for a creative, quote, remnant of seed persons who would have to begin again from new foundations. Think Noah and the ark and the flood. So here we are, it's like we're being given, history repeats, it'll be different, but it's just, here it is again. So take note, take heed, focus on the positive and place that out into the universe. In the field of big business, of huge war undertakings like the Normandy landing in World War II, or of major national efforts like the moon landings, great results have been achieved. But the motive and the quality of the human interrelationships involved were neither of permanent significance nor invested with a truly harmonic quality. The character of the techniques used were totally unsatisfactory from a human point of view. Nevertheless, there is much to learn from modern large-scale management and systems analysis, even in terms of personal endeavors of very limited scope. So this is talking about how we go about living, how we organize, how we come together, and are we doing it from a place of pure intention and positivity, proactiveness, or all of the shadow stuff? Last but not least, and this is the symbol for Venus. There's many. I'm going to post all of them on the Facebook thread on the Dearjames Facebook page thread for the show. Watching the very thin crescent moon appearing at sunset, different people realize that the time has come to go ahead with their different projects. This, a keen appreciation of the value of individualized responses to any challenge in life. And basically this symbol stresses the emergence of the individual. So it's we the people. There's no I in we, right? However, what it's stressing is to, to be independent, to think for ourselves, to think about the positivity of the world we wish to see and be in. It's our third quote. Be the change you wish to see in the world. This is what this Sabian symbol is speaking to, and it also speaks to, which I find just fascinating, based on the backdrop of the current moment. This symbol stresses the emergence of the individual. This should lead to a realization of the fallacy of totalitarianism. At times, we can all act like despots, demanding that others react to any situation exactly as we do. But see, authoritarianism, totalitarianism, this oppressive, suppressive mentality is an old script. It's an old mentality. It does not work nor fit into the new, the Aquarian matriarchal era. So, powerful symbols, Sabian symbols, those ordained red year by an astrological mandala. So last but not least, astrology by Lauren. Elizabeth is saying, what would be a good practice to do today for the new moon? State the purity of your intentions to release your shadow proclivities, is the word they're giving me. So, in essence, in the positive, one might say, I commit to harnessing the positive aspects of fear to propel me forward. That could be one of them. State your intentions in the positive, in the affirmative, and then follow them up with active, step-by-step actions, words, thoughts, and each time something of the old that is shadow or something creeps in, affirm it in the positive. This is Astrology by Lauren, and it's the new moon in Aquarius, Uranus stations direct. And she begins with a quote by Thurgood Marshall from 1992, 33 years prior to today. And Thurgood Marshall was an American civil rights lawyer and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States from 1967 to 1991. He was also the Supreme Court's first African-American justice. And this quote, democracy just cannot flourish amid fear. Liberty cannot bloom amid hate. Justice cannot take root amid rage. America must get to work. And this is true for everyone. He's speaking about America, but this is a global statement, a global truth. In the chill climate in which we live, remember this is from 33 years ago. In the chill climate in which we live, we must go against the prevailing wind. In other words, we must resist. We must dissent from the indifference, resistance. We must dissent from apathy. We must dissent from the fear, the hatred, and the mistrust. We must dissent from a nation that has buried its head in the sand, waiting in vain for the needs of its poor, its elderly, and its sick to disappear and just blow away. We must dissent from a government that has left its young without jobs, education, or hope. We must dissent from the poverty of vision and the absence of moral leadership. We must dissent because America can do better, because America has no choice but to do better. See, and it's not just about America. America is a world ideal. She represents the new world, what's possible. And so we can and we must do better. So Astrology by Lauren, she says, whenever the great Lord Jupiter stations, the planet of big vision, high hopes, and grand expectations, it is accompanied by a trine, a harmonious aspect to the sun, the life force. This brings a resurgence of confidence and hope, a rekindling of the heart, reminding us of what this journey is all about in the end. The things that matter, this hero's journey. This year, Jupiter will make its direct station on February 4th. It's coming up. I believe that's on Tuesday. But before it does so, it makes its trine to the sun right after the new moon in Aquarius on January 29th. How timely this all is. Just as we are grasping for that one glimmer of hope, that last vestige of goodness, here the new moon arrives escorted by the grand planet of benevolent optimism. It almost seems as if it is here to remind us of what our vision for the future was and what we need to do to revive it. Back in April of 2024, Jupiter made a conjunction to Uranus, means they're together. And Uranus is the modern ruling planet of Aquarius at approximately 22 degrees of Taurus. Remember, 22, master, most powerful master number. Instilling the seeds for some sort of vision for the future that would allow you to reframe your life in a way that might work best for you and make your life better. So here's all of these, it's leading up to all of these great opportunities, this growth, internal growth beyond your wildest dreams, your wildest imagination. Lauren goes on, Jupiter and Uranus would move on. Jupiter entered Gemini. They both stationed retrograde. And now both are stationing direct. One day after the new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius's ruler, Uranus, ends its retrograde and stations direct at 23 degrees Taurus, just 1 degree from the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction last year in April. It's as if both planets are reminding us of the seeds that had been planted way back when and are now ready to germinate, sprout, and grow. We are being called, mandated to tend our gardens, to quadruple down on our present future, on the positive that is before us, the opportunities, the wisdom, the expansion, the increase. So, they're showing me so we don't get sucked down the drain in some old, outdated, outmoded way of being. And we get the monkey effect, remember, the tipping scale. We can tip the scales. We had that in previous shows. Lady Justice, the blind, and tipping the scales of justice. Lauren continues, during the 5 months that Uranus has been in its retrograde phase, we've been processing and making all sorts of inner adjustments in service to that vision for the future, to bring us more in alignment with our highest ideals and aspirations and all those internal changes that have been taking place. All those seeds have been incubating, and now, due to a series of surprises, challenges, twists, and turns, we have all been compelled to either adjust to a whole new way of being or to recommit to those values, to those ideals that we would like to see promoted in the world at large and in our own lives. This is about walking the walk as well as talking the talk. This is not bury your head in the sand time. This is full frontal, full force, face it head on, and quadruple down, commit to what you wish to see in the world you wish to live in. The Sun-Pluto semi-square, and it's a square as a frictional aspect, is exact on the 26th, so we should not come into this carrying any illusions. We are being shown precisely how things are. Whether we choose to face the truth of the challenges we are being faced with or to escape into a world of delusion is entirely up to us. But there are forces operating here, divine intervention, the hand reaching in. But there are forces operating here that are much larger than any one individual. This is about divine intervention. And we are all going to be choosing our place on the new playing board. Remember on the 115 in the show Birds Flying High and I Am Feeling Good, Dragonfly Medicine. Playing the long game, a masterful game of chess versus checkers. And here Astrology by Lauren is talking about, and we are all going to be choosing our place on the new playing board. So are you playing chess or are you playing checkers? And there's really no comparison. She continues, and the one gift we are being given this week is the gift of hope. The Aquarius new moon is a moon of stark awareness, of new realizations and all the adjustments that must occur, all the ramifications of whatever changes have already happened. Nothing remains hidden long with this new moon in Aquarius. It's clarity. New moons set the tone for new beginnings, and the new moon in Aquarius fills us with the intention to seek the freedom to live our lives more truly and authentically. What that will actually be will become even more evident over the months ahead. But to recognize what that is for each of us is essential and will serve as your lodestar moving forward. It's your true north. Commit to that, even if that means having to stand out and be separate. It's about not being sheep. It's about, again, stand up, resist, follow your soul source connection, your guiding light, even and especially when that may make others uncomfortable or nervous or in a state of fear. Do so with grace, humility, and purity, but commit to it. As Lauren is saying, commit to that, even if that means having to stand out and be separate, even if that means having the courage to be a paragon of the change we wish to see in the world. And she closes with a quote by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Hope is the force in the wind at our backs, the wind beneath our wings, that force. Divine intervention is at hand. This age of Aquarius is going to bring clarity, resistance, and renewal because it is absolutely advancing us forward. And last but not least, I'm mindful of the time, 10-10, double new beginnings. So number 5 from the unseen, with these Sabian symbols. They spoke of 2 of them you will see. One is the descendant. Obeying his conscience, a soldier resists orders, resistance. And the other, and these go with Pluto. Here's Mercury, a deserter from the Navy. And man, the individual, steps out of his or her bondage to collective patterns and ideals. They may thus find themselves by means of a sharp renunciation of their social birthright. And Pluto, its Sabian symbol is an unexpected thunderstorm. 51, thunder, shock and awe. The need to develop the inner security which will enable us to meet unexpected crises. We have it within us to not only weather this storm, but to transcend it, to triumph. And because this is nature's challenge, that's what that symbol for Pluto is about. It's nature's challenge. Number 5 from the unseen. So this disobedience and this desertion from the way, the powers that be, the old, the institutions. And there was this great awareness, intuitive awareness of social, civil unrest, pushback. And then armed forces, law enforcement, abstain, stand down, defy orders. So again, your individual resistance can simply be, I'm not buying into the old. I'm not going to perpetuate the old. I'm not going to live in fear and worry and chaos and frustration. I seek the peace of the promised land. I seek the betterment of the future. Why? Because I know it exists. Because my heart, my soul, my everything is guiding me, leading me, pulling me that direction. And as it said, and we will get there. There's a lot in this show. Thank you all for bearing with me as we go through all of these amazing energies. And I'm going to just close with, we've had this statement attributed to Master Jesus, peace be with you. To Elizabeth's question, what's a good practice for this Aquarius new moon and this yin wood snake? Keep saying to yourself and to others, whether it's quietly, audibly, internally, externally. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Because then what you're recognizing and affirming to yourself and others is that the divine hand, the divine is always with you. It is with us, and it's divine intervention, the age of Aquarius, clarity, resistance, and renewal. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will see you all next week.